How's it going, guys? We've reached quorum and we're a little over time, so I want to get started. While we're waiting for the projector to get set up, we're going to move on to the second part of our agenda. There's only really a few items on the agenda today, so it should be fairly quick. So, first up, the Rensselaer Union 45th Student Senate confirms the Grand Marshal's appointment of Molly Dugan to the position of Independent Senator, effective immediately. So moved by Justin and seconded by Marcus. Molly, would you like to speak?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Molly. As Kyle just said, I'm one of the independent senators now. And I guess... what?
Pending motion.
Pending motion. I'm sorry. That's my bad. But, so to tell you, I guess, a little bit about myself. In high school, I was the president of my robotics team. And when I started out, there were about only 3 girls in that. And by my senior year, we were over half of girls. And so I'm pretty proud of that fact. Inspiring people in engineering was pretty big for me in high school, and now I'm where I need to be. And I'm really excited because I wanted to join a club where I could actually help people in the Rensselaer community. And I think that this is a great place to do it and to actually have an effect on student life. So that's why I'm here, and hopefully I will do that.
All right, we'll be taking questions. The queue is open.
Anybody?
Let's see.
Thanks. Got my vote.
Do we have any questions for Molly? I believe Mike Kayola said he was preparing questions, but I haven't been sent them. Okay, I mean, if we have no questions, we'll move to vote then. All those in favor? Okay, all opposed? All right, motion passes 21-0. Congratulations. Now, the minutes and agendas were just printed, and the minutes should be going around. You'll be getting a shirt, yes. The minutes and agendas were just printed and should be going around. I'd like you each to take a look at the minutes in case you didn't see them when they were sent out earlier today. We'll be holding on approval of minutes till later in the agenda. Without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Marcus Flowers and Shreya Patel from the Academic Affairs Committee presenting about one of their projects. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shreya.
Can you move up front?
Oh, sure.
Marcus has it yet.
I'm Shreya. I was part of the Syllabus Catalog project for the Academic Affairs Committee this semester. So basically, we wanted to do this project because there was nothing that transfers, like new students could look, not even, like even students in RPI right now, they couldn't look at the syllabi and the classes they are about to go into. And what to expect from all these courses. Also, it becomes easier for transfer students to basically compare courses they've already taken and courses they're going to take in RPI, and kind of interpolate what they must get done for their major and what they're missing from their previous courses. And also, being a freshman myself, it's nice to know, what I'm getting into at RPI and basically what to expect. Like every department head, they always keep on saying like, you should always keep your syllabi, and it's always like in a safe place because if you're going to grad school or even transferring to another school, you want to know what to what to take to complete your goals and ambitions, and get a good idea of where you are compared to the rest of your major, and what you've already studied, and yeah, important classes taken. Basically, so first we talked with the secretary of the registrar and recording, which is Sharon Kunkel. And then we got in touch with the department heads and we emailed all of them and they were in support of us. We also got in touch with Kurt Anderson and the provost in the provost office, and the web services are willing to support us in hosting this project, so yeah. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay.
We'll be opening a queue.
Conrad?
Are you looking to get this, is there a timeline for when you think you're getting this system implemented?
As soon as possible. Yeah.
Like what things are holding you back or like slowing the process right now?
Basically, we just have to like get in touch, like the provost office. We need to be in terms with him, and also like we already got support from him, but now it's just like implementing the idea and getting all the syllabi from the digital measures, which is a part of the provost office. So, yeah.
Kyle?
So I think this would definitely be very beneficial to have a public syllabus collection. One of the challenges, of course, is going to be establishing this collection every semester going forward, rather than having it be a one-time thing. What plans do you or Academic Affairs currently have to set up a recurrence of sorts, or some sort of easy process to, I guess, republish or reestablish this?
We haven't gone that far yet, but I mean, Mark is.
Just to explain a little bit on what the plan going forward is. Right now, like you said, we're just focused on getting this up and running right now. The way it works is that you can ask for the syllabi for any time frame that the provost effectively says that he's looking for. So he could ask for all the syllabi since they started using digital measures if he wanted to. We're going to ask for all of the most recent, so maybe just a few years back. And then after that, all it would be is going to the next year, pushing the same button that produces all the files and putting it back up on the internet in a relevant catalog year.
Jason?
Are you guys doing anything to ensure that the syllabi actually have quality content? I guess because I know some of my professors, they go into great detail in their syllabuses or syllabi, while other professors seem just like it's a forced thing that they did because they were required to, so they don't really put any effort into it. So even after I get to the course and I get to the syllabi or the syllabus, it doesn't have what I need in it as a student taking the class. And has that been considered, making sure there's some sort of quality assurance for?
Yeah. I mean, we're making sure we update it at a regular basis and contain the information that is necessary, like as detailed as possible.
Shoshana?
What web services are you looking at hosting it on? And have you spoken to Sharon about hosting it on SIS, kind of like the class hours schedule?
I spoke with Sharon about that, and she said it's kind of difficult to post it on the registrar. As for web services, market.
Okay, so as far as the hosting on SIS, which is run on a system called Banner, Banner updates about every 9-10 months, and we use that update and we implement it into our system. Modifications can be made to Banner, but every time there's an update sent to Banner, it reverts all the previous coding and modifications that were done before. So you can't permanently modify SIS, which is part of the reason why we've been unable to do some of our projects from last year as well. So Banner as a hosting system is considered out of the question. So right now we're looking forward to having it on the actual base RPI website with the course catalog, or potentially somewhere else more related to the course scheduler, but for the time being, we're just going to go with a simple PDF link.
Queue is open. Shoshana?
If it's a PDF link, isn't that file going to be ginormous?
Yes.
Sorry, what was the question?
If it's as a PDF link, like one whole list of every syllabi in the last couple of years, wouldn't that file be very large and therefore difficult to share?
Well, we can, as soon as we have it in one file, we can break it up into like departments, like, you know, civil engineering or, you know, all the engineering departments, and basically take it from there. But I mean,
Yeah, the original file may be that large, which is part of the reason why we have to get it in person. It can't be sent over email.
Mason?
Just a suggestion, but you could possibly link the syllabus or syllabi for each class in the same way that the current registration. I guess when all the courses go for registration, they're in a large file as well that websites can pull from. So like that's how Yax gets its data, and I believe Rocks pulls straight from the source. But you could add it to that documentation, so that way other services could then use it, because I feel like the students could do a lot more with what they want if given the opportunity. And I know our hosts would probably be happy to have new things to do to Yax. So.
Justin?
So discussing taking one large PDF file, being someone who's worked with that before, it can be very, very time consuming to sit through and cut a PDF up into smaller PDFs. How would you, assuming that this project goes off and you have to do this every single semester, do you know of any ways that this could be sped up a little bit or automated so that the next person that follows you or whoever's doing it can continue it without it being a struggle? Because otherwise it may end up stagnating at some point.
The provost can choose how to organize the files that we get. He can put it in one large file, or he can take the extra time himself and press multiple buttons that will cause it to organize by year or by some organization that I'm not yet aware of, but it can be organized before we get it. I don't know the details of it because I've yet to see the interface. But what we've been told so far is that we're likely to get it initially as one large document. Thank you.
Jen?
I have a quick question and then I'll follow up. So you guys discussed organizing it based on year. Am I correct?
No.
Or
It's primarily based on like area, department.
right, yeah, but then for each course it would be like syllabi each year, right? Or I was just wondering if it would be better to organize by which professor taught the course, because I know they can change differently based on the professor. So I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on that. If you're just getting the syllabi from the previous year or the previous few years, like what that organization is going to be.
Like I said before, we don't really know. I don't really know the exact specifics of how it can be organized when the file is requested, because this is the first time we're doing it. So
Okay.
I'm sure that could it be manually sorted like that? Yes, but like Justin said before, that might be time consuming, and honestly, we're going to go with what's the easiest to upkeep, because we're going to go for upkeep over deep minor organization details.
Paul?
Yeah, this is kind of directed at Shreya and Marcus. Could you potentially look into the it being broken into several PDFs, either split up by potentially department or major it's under, or by like the prefix, like there's the math classes and other assorted prefixes I can't think of.
I think maybe by, the prefixes I think would be better, because then you know specifically which class is in which.
Kyle?
So given that there is some involvement on our side, kind of setting this up, cutting up the PDF or making these different files accessible, is this a program that we could see piloted in the near future, either next semester or in the fall?
Yeah, possibly.
Do you have any other words?
Like we said before, we're trying to have this out as soon as possible. We're hoping the goal was to have it before this registration, but it might pop up during registration or a little bit afterwards. But the first pilot
would be within the semester, I would think.
The queue is open. Conrad?
Just clarification on this agenda. What year are you? It says, okay, it says 2017 the agenda, so just making sure that's it.
Happened a few times now. Thank you, Tina.
Kyle?
So one last question. This is a great project, and congratulations for the work that you've done so far on it, especially as a first year in a Senate committee for the first time. What plans to make this a success? Of course, students need to use it. So what plans do you guys have to make students aware that this is a resource that's available to them?
Promotion-wise, maybe getting in touch with, well, basically first with freshmen and basically posters and maybe posting it online or email. Like, I know there's like emails, like email groups in our PI. So basically we can email like the people, like students and stuff. So. Or putting it on morning mail if that's possible. If anyone even reads it.
Okay.
The queue is open.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you for your time. Nice work. All right, we are going to return to our legislation for the second motion of the evening. Has everybody had a chance to adequately look at the minutes? You two have not?
No, we have, but we've got something to say about it.
Okay, we'll open a queue once the motion's read. The Rensselaer Union 45th Student Senate approves the minutes from October 20th as attached. So moved by Justin and seconded by Shoshana.
Do you want me to read the comments that are written on here? Or there's a lot on here.
We'll start with what people have, and then you can read comments people have made.
James?
I thought the second motion, I think it was the second motion that we had, was not approved.
Correct, it didn't
And
pass.
It said on the minutes that it had passed, so.
That's on page 4. Yeah, minutes. Been corrected.
With minutes do not need to be amended the way a motion would. We can simply make the markups.
All right, yeah, I assume it was friendly. I just wanted you to know.
Any other comments? Do you have anyone else?
The queue is open. Conrad?
What is it from again?
The 20th.
Okay. Before. All right, Tina's on the queue next.
Tina?
In the minutes on page 5, under Constitution, it says, in brackets, please fact check this. Can anyone confirm that statement about Constitution Committee?
What's the statement?
Next meeting, however, is Thursday, 4 to 5. Do we know if that?
No. At this point, the next meeting is going to also be 7 on Thursday. I'll get to that when I get to James's update.
Okay, so you should cross out that sentence.
Sure.
Cool.
The queue is open.
Who took these minutes?
All right, Tina, would you like to read through the list of changes and see if we have any comments?
Okay, on the first page, all the misters have been changed to dean for the first 2 pages. Rest are just really like grammar changes, like
Okay.
there's a backwards bracket. It says FI, not if. Yeah, like these are like really small
I think we're all
changes.
set then.
Yeah.
He was filling in for me, so.
Guys, do we have any further comments? Anyone else want to get on queue?
All have to.
We have a grammar change. There needs to be an apostrophe between Joe and the S for Joe's birthday.
We'll take note. Thank you, Paul. Anybody else?
The queue is open.
Okay. Seeing none, we will move to vote. The Rensselaer Union 45th Student Senate approves the minutes from October 20th as attached. So moved by Justin and seconded by Shoshana. All those in favor?
Are those hands up? You can vote now.
Yeah, you can vote.
Okay.
You weren't at the meeting.
Oh yeah, you weren't at the meeting. You can't. You actually can't vote.
I would recommend you abstain, but I
Okay.
can't tell you what to do, but you have voting rights.
Live your life.
Now I lost it, sorry.
Don't listen to authority. Rule number 1 is
We are the authority.
whatever.
What'd you get? What'd you get? Okay. All opposed? Motion passes 1902. As a quick comment, we're still looking for minutes from October 6th. I believe this might have been the meeting where you took half of the minutes and Morgan took the other half.
That's not good.
We'll discuss this after, but I'd like to get those approved so they can go in the official record and be archived and so on. But that concludes our main agenda for today, nice and short. So without further ado, we're going to move to committee reports. R&E, Melanie.
So we have a new member, Michael H. Don't know how to say his last name.
Not me.
Or Jack.
that guy. He's a freshman. And then we moved Tim Breen to the independent so that Michael is the member at large. And we are making improvements on our electronic voting projects and the referendum rule and your thing. Your like online thing, referendum.
Oh, we'll get to
thing.
that in web tech.
Okay. No, that's it.
Cool. All right, thank you. Marcus, AAC.
AAC, we meet 7 p.m. Thursdays in 3510, or if you go to the conference table, you'll be able to find us there for all the people that are currently here. AAC now has 2 meeting locations, Rensselaer Union 3510 and the conference table in the SGS, because we are too big for 3510 now. We are currently waiting on web services to respond. I sent an email to about 20 people, 2 of which have responded and said to talk to somebody else. So that's going well. Otherwise, syllabus project going nicely. We're going to get the syllabi in time. And other projects with research are going well. We talked with VPs and they are happy.
Have you been able to get in touch with the provost's office? Okay, I would send that email as soon as you can.
Email is
Obviously,
sent.
you need to get in touch.
Email is sent.
Okay. All right, thank you, Marcus.
Thursday, 7 to 8. I
Conrad?
forgot every meeting.
Waiting on to hear from web services and otherwise.
Hosting the hosting location for the syllabi. Syllabuses, both of which are correct words.
All right, anyone else?
That's very interesting.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. Jen, SGC.
SGC is now officially meeting Tuesdays from 8 to 9 in SGS. We'll have our first meeting with everyone tomorrow. We'll be discussing postering on campus, tabling, and getting new members. If anyone wants to join, I'd be happy to have your membership.
All right, thank you very much. Michael, FSC.
We meet Tuesdays at 5. So last week we switched to a thing called Slack, which is it's a communications platform. So we're doing all of our communication on there instead of spamming people with email. I'm gonna invite everyone on the Senate to it. So if you want to join, you don't have to be a part of the committee, but you can still be a part of the discussion that goes on about each of our projects. Besides that, we're making pretty good progress on pet-friendly housing. Surprising progress. So there's that. Crosswalks is still going well. But you can, join Slack and you can be part of the conversation. That's it.
Thank you. Joe, HSEC.
HSEC. So we're currently in the process of benchmarking our peer institutions in reference to their meal plan programs. That's going to be our big project from now until the end of the semester, at which point the important people have to vote on the meal plans for next year. So that's our biggest project. We'll meet tomorrow at 6 p.m. right after Michael Hahn's committee, so feel free to join us.
What is your goal date for presenting this to the Senate?
Before we even talk to the important people, the Senate has to approve it. We're shooting for maybe second last meeting or the last meeting of this semester as our presentation date.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Lexi is not here for SLC, so we're going to go straight to student. Oh, Case, you have an update?
So last week we talked about making universal access projects, and we talked about what the committee members thought. Apparently Dean Schill said that They're going to put new doors in Bar H to separate the dining and the residence areas, so that's interesting. Also, we got RSA survey responses back, so we've been going through that in regards to the Residence Hall Improvement Project. And we did a Reddit thread, and we got a bunch of stuff from that, so we're going to be going through that as well.
What was the Reddit thread on?
It was on the health center project and the counseling center.
Any questions for Case? Okay, thank you very much. Paul, student policy.
So I'm still waiting for the email from Dean Smith to reply, giving the links that they used to make the links to the documents that they based the adjustments to the student handbook on. And we're planning to have our open forum after we get this final copy, and we're still just discussing in committee different ideas we have for some of the different changes. For, well, those of you who may have not heard the whole spiel before, the school's making changes to the Student Handbook of Rights and Responsibilities, which will mostly deal with adding hazing to be covered by the Good Samaritan policy, and changing the school's policy with dealing with sexual misconduct cases to be updated to fit federal requirements, which will be new federal laws, which are expected to be passed in July of next year. So the school's just trying to get out ahead of that. And Dean Smith will be in person at SLC at the first meeting. The first meeting after he gives us the changes to the handbook policy.
Is that meeting no longer this week?
I don't freaking know. It depends when he emails me this stuff.
Okay. Thank you, Paul.
We meet during normal SLC meetings.
Keep us posted on those changes. Let me know if you run into any difficulty. It has been a few weeks now, but we are pretty optimistic they should come in soon. So next is Gabe for WebTech.
Yeah, so this week our meeting is centered mostly on the Senate website. We have a lot of people that are interested in working on front-end graphic design, so we kind of just went over the layout of the site and did a sketch out. I think Tina might have some more to talk about that possibly in her focus group. They ended up settling on a layout. Other than that, we deployed an open source petition system from RIT. They actually emailed and were interested to see like how we were using it and everything like that. So that'll be coming down the road once we customize it all for use at RPI. Other than that, I've reached out to the new operations manager at the Parking and Transportation Center. He will be taking care of the purchases for the new tracking devices because they're confirmed to be lost. Other than that, that's all I have. Do you have any? Yep.
This petition system, per our discussions, is still in a development state. Is it currently available for the public to access, or are we still
You can
tweaking
access it if you're on campus only.
Okay. I recommend withholding general public access until we've finished bringing it up to speed with union requirements for petitions.
Okay. Yep. Anything else? All right, thanks.
Thank you, Gabe. Tina, website.
All right, so as Gabe alluded to, the last focus group we had, we went through a lot of different tab structures and how we want to link the websites together for all the different branches. So we have an idea that we like, and now what we're going to do is for the following focus groups, we're going to meet with each of the respective bodies and talk about what their specific section needs and how their tabs will be structured. So the first one is actually Senate, and that is this Friday at 4 p.m. in Union 3511. And so we'll be going over, like, once you're in the Senate section of the student government website, what are those tabs going to look like? As well as developing the content and the paragraphs and all of the writing that will go on the pages. So it's not just what the website looks like, but there used to be stuff in it. So figuring out what that information is and what's important, we're going to be talking about this Friday.
Okay. Thank you, Tina. Morgan, Community Relations.
Okay, so our Facebook page of Know Your Neighbors has over 100 likes. We've been posting on it pretty well. It seems to be well received by students and the community. We've already gotten commitment from some businesses that would like to work with us to help get students into Troy and give even larger student discounts than what we already have. And we've been working with Aaron from the bid on that. And then once again, we're meeting in the SGS on Thursdays from 8 to 9 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, Morgan. For our new senator in the room, community relations does not satisfy your 2-committee requirement. However, we do encourage you to join. It's a starting up committee and they're doing a lot of good work already. So it's a great way to get connected to Troy and, our neighbors in the area and just get involved in our community. Thank you. So next, I'll give the Constitution update. There was a meeting, and let me quickly check Nate's thing. He just sent it to me. There was a meeting last Thursday at 7 p.m. They discussed some ideas for the rules regarding independence, given that the Independent Council has been dissolved. Right now, the committee's working for more membership before they can make any decisions. He's reached out to the different student government branches, and he is looking for more senators to join. So if you want to become a part of the committee revising the Union Constitution, please contact Nate or attend their next meeting. It's going to be Thursday at 7 p.m. in 3606. That's the Shellnut Gallery. So Thursday, 7 p.m., 3606 is Union Constitution. With that, we're going to move on to constituent reports. Shoshana, E-Board.
Last week, the executive board approved the rental lyrics for continuing producing their CDs, which they will sell at various events, including their show. RPI Talks was approved to become a part of the Union Speakers Forum. And so they're going to have different kind of speaking programs centered around community university. Last year, they had Seth Appert and other well-known people around RPI. They just had tidbits with Knowlton from athletics. RPI Ambulance got their constitution approved. DECO used to exist, and they're down to 1 member. So Design for America is looking to pick up their membership. So DECO will revise themselves to become Design for America. And then they will assume that budget. And then UPAC Sound is purchasing a new rig, which you can rent for different events. This one will be more lightweight, so if any of you have events and you've used their rig before, you know it's pretty heavy. They will then donate that old rig to RMA to use in the J building because their old rig was in West Hall, which they're no longer housed in. And then lastly, UPAC Cinema came asking to revive the food portion of their budget, as many clubs last year were upset that they lost their food budget. The executive board has decided that they will create a so-called formula for determining if a club meets certain criteria. They will be under consideration to have a food budget, similar to how certain clubs have a reception fund, and that's $250 per semester per person. So they're working on the exact characteristics that a club must satisfy in order to have that food budget. And then I'm sure other clubs will be coming to us asking for food budgets. Other than that, we're going to start budgeting season. Club budgets are preliminary due on CMS November 30th. They will be under review December 1st through 5th. And then final club budgets are due December 16th. And then I and my fellow counterparts will be budgeting early before the spring semester, January 23rd through 25th. And finally, any clubs that would like to appeal their budgets, this is January 28th. Last year, clubs did complain about the early turnaround. We recognize it's an early turnaround. We have these dates now, so any clubs, please take note of them so you can prepare and not be rushed. Yes, Michael?
Just as a correction, Tidbits is this Friday. They haven't had it yet.
Okay. Forgot the date. Yes, Michael?
Has that information been sent out to club officers?
Is that all?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Shosh. Just as a note to our committee chairs, start thinking about what budgetary requirements your committees might have. Looking at you here a little bit, RNE, with the electronic voting project. Bobby, I'm going to be inviting you to our cabinet meeting, not this week, but next, so that we can have kind of a fuller discussion about the Senate budget and we can begin to form our preliminary proposal. Do we have a grad council update?
Yeah. So 2 things. We wrote
Listen up, guys.
worded letter to OGE and Dean of Student Office and Student Life about the fee increases and what we'd like to see done with it. And then we're going to have grad movie night on November 7th. That's it.
What's the movie?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's a good movie.
Yeah,
That's a good movie. Okay, thank you. James, IFC.
Awesome. So Greek Week was successful except for the pizza. We have Greek Service Day, November 15th. The IFC e-board elections are upcoming. SIGEP is selling sandwiches in front of Sage from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Friday. And Castle is having a haunted house on Friday and Saturday. That's it.
There's also a very important haunted house on Fridays. Sigma Chi house. Please, and Alpha Phi.
And Alpha.
Please put that in the minutes.
Conrad?
What happened to the pizza?
It was delayed.
They just didn't get the order didn't come through.
The order didn't go through. I guess he ordered online.
It was an hour and a half late, basically.
Let's keep things moving then. Morgan, Penhell.
Okay, so we have the exactly same updates, and then the positions are open for the executive board for Panhandle.
Okay, thank you very much. Then with that, we're going to move on to my report to wrap up the meeting. Before that, though, really quick, our reports today took a little over 15 minutes, so I just want to remind all of you, try to keep your reports brief, focus on the essentials, and that way we can kind of breeze through those sections in the future. So first, there are two committees currently seeking membership. One is the Constitution Committee, as mentioned earlier. The Union Constitution is the document that that describes the authority and the relative powers of all the different student government bodies and is in dire need of update. As such, it's important that we as senators are involved in that discussion. So if you have time, I encourage you to at least stop by, see what that discussion's about, take some interest. Second, the executive board's class council task force is looking for more Senate membership. If you're part of a class council and you're interested in being a part of the discussion about their financial relationship to the student union, contact either Chaz Goodwin, the chair of the task force and VP of the executive board, or Aaron at pu@rpi.edu.
In addition, I'd like to add HSAC to that list of committees seeking members. I'm looking to add approximately 4 more members to HSAC. So if you guys are interested or know other people who are interested in helping us fix food, please have them contact me. Thank you.
So that's the third one. Contact Joe if you'd like to join HSAC. So next, especially to our committee chairs, I'd like to remind you guys that as a number of our projects are wrapping up this semester, start thinking about a goal date for when you want to present them to the Senate, be it for a vote or an overview, depending on the magnitude of the project. We have about 5 GBMs left before the semester concludes, so just start thinking ahead and start kind of planning how you're going to reach each of those goals. Tina would also like to remind you guys to sync our Senate Google Calendar with your own so that you can see the committee meeting times as well as any other events. For our new members, if you don't have access to the drive yet, contact myself or Tina. We'll be able to take care of you. And finally, Halloween is Black Friday. For those of you who aren't aware, Black Friday is kind of an annual hockey celebration. It's the first of a number of great hockey events. So if there's any game in which you want to check out RPI hockey for our first years or people who haven't gone, this is the perfect one to start. We're going to be playing against Union College, our big rivals. It'll be a lot of fun. Michael?
Are you going to finally wear your top hat to the game?
Yes, I will be wearing my top hat on Black Friday. Marcus?
You mentioned blackout, but you didn't mention why it's called blackout or anything about why it's associated with the color black or anything like that. So why don't you explain that?
I don't know. I don't know why it's blackout.
They wear black.
They wear black during the game, yes.
That's the part that wasn't.
Well, okay.
Yeah, we're black.
Fair enough.
Paul?
Oh, yeah, it's also sophomore hockey night, class of 2017. Enough said.
I think they're doing a joint with the juniors, aren't they? Or not
Nobody
anymore.
told us that.
Sachi.
They're going to, and then we stopped, I think.
Dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Drop a puck.
Okay. Does anyone else have any comments? Keegan?
I have the October 6th agenda, the notes that were missing.
Minutes?
The minutes.
Since we don't have a motion you can motion to approve that, but I would recommend.
I'm letting you know that I have them.
Okay, we will take care of that at next week's meeting. All right, any new business, unfinished business? Joe?
Friday is also Troy Night Out.
Ooh.
The The Outing Club is sponsoring a tour by LL Bean on Friday that will be out on the front lawn of the Union, which will include the LL Bean Bootmobile.
Ooh. Okay, so it's going to be tough between that and hockey. I mean, if you're savvy, go to the hockey game, then head down into Troy for a great night. Thank you, Joe. Anyone else? New business? Questions from our press? What was that?
I'm just going to be sending out recap emails for things I didn't listen to.
Okay. With that then, I believe we are wrapped up. Thank you guys for coming. Meeting adjourned.